So, what can each one of us do about all of the hatred and anger and suffering that's happening in our world? Well, I believe that we actually can make a difference. And in the last video, I talked about what is the root cause of hatred. And it's always painful life experiences where you did not feel seen and heard, and there was no support. And so anger gives you a sense of power. Rage gives you a sense of agency, and revenge is a way you can take action and feel a little less powerless. And of course, it always creates more pain. But how do you handle anger? Because anger is not a bad thing. It is saying, hey, I don't like this, I deserve better, or someone else deserves better. It's always a messenger and a call for respect. And when we ignore anger for a multitude of reasons, that we all do that, it is creating more disrespect, either to yourself. When you push down what you're angry about, you're giving yourself the message, I don't deserve to be seen and heard, or someone else in the world outside of you. And when you do that, it creates more anger and disrespect. So that is your sphere of influence. How do you handle anger inside of you and in the immediate world around you, in your relationships with your family, at work, your neighbors, your community? And the thing that you want to contemplate is, if you stuff down your anger, what's the consequence for that? Because you are contributing to the collective anger and helplessness. Anger needs to be witnessed with space and compassion, which is what we don't know how to do on a collective level yet. And, whatever psychologically is going on inside of us, when we stuff anger, that is a form of contempt for ourselves. And contempt is psychological violence. And that is rampant in our society. And you might say, well, I just hold my anger in, I avoid conflict, or I've never done anything overt, I've never harmed another person. But contempt, psychological violence, over time creates and feeds physical violence that someone else might tap into and act upon. So contempt is every time we roll our eyes and think, ugh, that idiot, or these stupid people. We're dehumanizing a multifaceted human being and only identifying in that moment with this particular behavior or whatever they're saying or doing. And this is our work. How can you deal with the anger inside of you? How can you listen to the need it's saying to you and access this presence within that we call your true self in IFS, that has this capacity to witness your anger, listen to it, and bring soothing. We call it self-soothing, so that you're honoring your needs. And when you do that for yourself, you have the capacity to do that for other people. And when you don't do that for yourself, you don't have compassion for other people, because their emotional needs might trigger the emotional needs in you that have been stuffed down. So there's like a compassion and an empathy miss. So think about that. How do you handle anger right now? And if you're conflict avoidant, that's a skill that you can really develop, and relief that you can bring to yourself Because if you're stuffing down your own anger, you're sending yourself the message you don't count. And you do count, you do matter. And this lack of being seen and heard and feeling like a lack of capacity to meet our needs and that our presence doesn't matter, that is what's happening in the world and causing so much of this violence. So thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, subscribe to Delight the World, and remember this: some days you can radiate your light, some days you just need to receive light, and wherever you are on your journey of being the light, you're always welcome to connect here for hope, healing, and illumination.